What's going on, y'all? This is another GNN Games News Network exclusive, and I'm bringing y'all Resident Evil 4 on the PSVR2. Resident Evil 4 is back again, but this time you're not just controlling Leon, you are freaking Leon. Every reload, every knife parry, every scream in your ear, it's all happening around you. So let's talk about whether Resident Evil 4 VR on the PSVR 2 is truly the ultimate survival horror experience or just another flashy VR remake. You're watching GNN on Migs, and this is my honest hands-on review. Alright, y'all, let's start with gameplay, because this is where Resident Evil 4 VR absolutely shines. Everything feels real. You're manually reloading your weapons, aiming down your real sights, blocking with your knife, and when those villagers start charging at you, you can feel that panic hit. The sense controller's do an amazing job. The tensions in the trigger when you fire the gun, that's pure adrenaline. The haptics in the headset make every close encounter hit harder, especially when a chainsaw revs up near your ear. When you play to that flat screen, it's nothing compared to when you have that headset on and you're playing and you have all of this going on. And that classic Resident Evil 4 Village intro in VR is pure chaos. You're ducking behind walls, tossing grenades, reloading under pressure. It's absolutely insane. Now visually, Capcom nailed it. The game looks clean, the detailed environments, the smooth frame rate, and the lighting hits hard in here. Putting the blacks in the game, when it gets real dark in there, it gets dark. Obviously, it's not as sharp as the flat PS5 remake. You lose a bit of detail for that full VR immersion, but it looks way better than I expected. Like, MetaQuest 3 has its own Resident Evil 4 VR version, and they cannot compete with this. I didn't notice any major frame drops or motion issues, and it's running buttery smooth at 120 hertz. The headset haptics, when you take the damage or land a headshot, it adds that extra punch. If you got a strong stomach, this thing runs like a dream. Well, once you get your VR legs, if you start playing this for the first time, you might get a little queasy at first, but push through it. I promise you, once you get your VR legs, just like Avatar, when you first get that body, you have to learn how to actually move around, because this game has a lot of action in it, so you may get a little queasy. Now, controls, surprisingly intuitive. You got your weapons holstered on your body, your knife right on your chest, and grenades on your belt. It all becomes second nature and very freaking fast. Reloading feels satisfying, and knife pairing, bro, it feels incredible. It's pure action. The energy all the way, including when that chainsaw comes at you. You gotta put your knife up to stop that dude chopping you up. Yeah, you got options too. You got teleporters, smooth locomotion, standing or seated play, and even vignettes to help with motion sickness. After about an hour, I felt totally comfortable. It's like I told you guys, you gotta have your VR legs. But like these new headsets, they have done an incredible job of getting you guys eased into VR quicker, because you have so much ways that you can adjust and move these headsets so you feel comfortable. Now, story-wise, it's the same remake, but VR changes absolutely everything. Hearing Ashley call for help when she's right beside you feels way more urgent. Leon's one-liners hit differently when you're in that moment. Jump scares hit harder too. When something bursts through the door, or when you turn your head and see a villager creeping up, that tension is absolute next level. And let's talk about sound design. 3D audio makes this feel alive. You can literally hear every single breath of breathing behind you in that moment when you realize they're right there. Man, that's pure survival horror gold. Guys, you guys got to experience this. So how does Resident Evil 4 stack up to other PSVR2 games? Well, compared to Resident Evil Village VR, this one feels more refined and responsive. The gunplay is tighter, the action is out of control, and the pacing just works better in VR. Compared to other shooters like Pavlov or Synapse, Resident Evil 4 VR brings cinematic horror energy that's unmatched. But it's not perfect. The inventory can feel clunky in the heat of battle, and the aiming takes some muscle memory to master. But still, for me, this is hands down one of the most immersive, heart-pounding experiences you can have on PSVR 2 right now. So what do you think? Is Resident Evil 4 VR diving into, or are you keeping your distance from Las Plagas this time around? I'm telling y'all, do not miss it. It is an amazing experience. If you got a PSVR 2, this is a must-have. Now, when it comes to my rating of Resident Evil 4 on the PSVR 2, I definitely give this a 10 out of 10. This is a definite you must experience type game. If you loved Resident Evil 4 when it first came out, if you're like me, I've been a gamer for many, many years. I still remember playing Resident Evil 4 for the first time on the Nintendo GameCube back in the days. And to be able to walk through this world, to feel everything, this is definitely one of the best experiences I've had on the PSVR 2, on top of many other classics. This one definitely, though, is on my top for PSVR 2. So what do you guys think? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if this helped you out, and subscribe to GNN for more real, no BS reviews just like this one. This is Migs from GNN signing off. Stay sharp out there, gamers. Until next time, y'all.